Evening YouTube, it's Darth Cobain 17, and I am back with some stuff that I have done recently. We'll get right into it. The first thing, I've finished watching this recently. It's the first 2 seasons of the latest, the reboot of the Voltron series. As you'll see, Voltron up in the top left there, or yeah, top left. It's kind of a continuation. It's not like a redo. It's kind of a continuation of the Voltron series in a way. Voltron, if you don't know, it's 5 robot lions form the mighty robot Voltron, who battles the forces of evil off in the far universe. And there's 5 pilots that drive these lions. So this series starts off with a few cadets on Earth at the Galaxy Garrison named Hunk, Pidge, and Lance, and they don't do all that well. They're always too busy squabbling with each other and getting into hijinks to really do very well. And about a year before this, there had been a mission to the moon. 3 researchers had been attacked by an alien ship and hadn't been seen again since, and they were thought deceased. So anyways, back to the year later at the Galaxy Garrison, these recruits sneak out one night after curfew and witness something fall from the sky and crash into the Earth, and they go and see what it is and hide from all the Galaxy Garrison forces who are also on the scene. And it's one of the people from that moon mission who came back, a man by the name of Shiro. So the Galaxy Garrison basically, quarantines them and basically keeps them captive, and these 3 are like, we need to rescue this guy. So they stage a rescue, but an ex-Galaxy Garrison recruit named Keith beats them to it, but all 5 of them end up escaping off into the jungle together, or the desert, in this rescue attempt. So while they're out in the desert, they discover the Blue Lion, and it takes a liking to Lance, and they all climb aboard, and the Blue Lion blasts off into outer space, goes through a wormhole, and ends up on the planet Eris, which is far, far away. And there's this futuristic looking castle on the planet, and so they enter it. Nobody seems to be home until a couple of pods pop up, and their occupants wake up from over 10,000 years of like a hypersleep or whatever. And these people are Princess Allura and her advisor Karan. And so all these over 10,000 years ago, in a war against King Zarkon and his Grala, they changed it from the original Voltron. It used to be the Drools, and now it was the Grala or something like that. Anyways, they lost this battle, so Allura's father, King Alfor, put her and Koran in a hypersleep, and the castle also doubles as a spaceship, so he sent it away to planet Eris to be safe until the time was right for them to awake and take the fight to Zarkon again. And he also scuttled Voltron, sent the 5 lions across the galaxy into hiding, and of course these guys discovered the blue ones. So when they meet Allura and Koran, they believe these 5 people are fated to be the new paladins of Voltron, the new pilots that are going to bring it back together. With Allura's awakening, King Zarkon, the evil one, his advisor Hagar, who's a witch, senses her awakening, and they immediately head to planet Eris and start to engage. So from that point onwards, it's kind of a race across the galaxy to many planets. They meet many species and get into all sorts of hijinks, and these new paladins are training the whole time, trying to get a grasp on operating Voltron and fighting back against Zarkon. And yeah, it's just a series of adventures until kind of at the end of the 2nd season, there's kind of a final battle against Zarkon, which ends and leaves things on a cliffhanger for the 3rd season. So yeah, great animation, lots of humor built in, and there's a couple of things they've done with Pidge has a secret, Keith has some mysterious origins, and then they keep doing flashbacks of Shiro's time in being a prisoner of Zarkon. So there's lots of little things they've thrown in there to keep it interesting and different and mysterious and stuff. So really enjoyed these episodes. Second thing we did was complete Demolition Racer, an old game for the PS1 that I picked up a while back at Game Cycle. And it's because me and my son James have been waiting for this now I forget what it's called. Wreckfest, the Wreckfest Demolition Derby type game to come to the PS4, which it's been rumored to be coming forever, but it just never keeps on showing up. So we really want to smash up Derby games. So I was just at Game Cycle one day and I saw this and another game actually, and I was like, you know what? We'll get these for now. They're cheap. They're old. It was really fun. Like for the time, I bet it was like it's obviously dated now, but at the time, I bet it was a really good game, graphically and stuff, and the fun factors through the roof. I mean, there's kind of one main mode, which is it's called a Demolition League. So you embark on a series of races where you have to place as high as you can, but also cause as much damage to the other competitors without blowing yourself up. And it's kind of a combination of your finishing position as well as how many points you scored in demolishing other cars that determines your overall place. So, and then with each league, as it gets higher and higher, you have to finish higher and higher in each race to move on to the next one. And there's quite a few demolition leagues to play through. So that was a lot of fun. And then there's one that's just a straight up smash up derby. There's no race. It's just you're in an arena and you're smacking into cars, and it's kind of like last man standing. But same thing. It's your finishing position as well as how much damage you inflicted. You can't just skirt around the edges and avoid everybody and finish first and you get first. You have to actually be engaged and earn points and stuff. So yeah, great gameplay, great graphics for the time, still super fun. So that was a really good pickup for, well, I guess it was $10. That, for a PS1 game, that seems a little high, but it was worth it. Next thing I finished was this beauty. First season of the Dukes of Hazzard. I found it at Walmart for like $5, and I watched the Dukes a ton as a child, and it started in the late 70s, like 77, 78, and the story was in this fictional county called Hazzard County somewhere in Georgia. Bo and Luke Duke, cousins, live on a farm with their uncle Jesse and their other cousin Daisy. The boys are on probation for getting caught running moonshine, so they have to kind of keep their noses clean. But they run around Hazzard County in the orange car you kind of saw there, the General Lee, which is a 1969 orange Dodge Charger with a big 01 on the side of it. And it's like the car to end all cars. It was like one of the favorite things for me to watch as a child. The first season is 13 episodes. It was a 5-disc set. And it sees them kind of, there's always something going on in Hazzard County, and it's like the only place where you can run from the cops and smash into their cars and stuff, and everybody laughs. You know, nobody gets shot. Like it's crazy. 1970s in the American South, eh? I don't know if that's really how it was, but good God if it was. But anyway, so yeah, there's 13 episodes where they get into all these hijinks. They foil bank robbers, car thief rings, all sorts of stuff, I was surprised I was allowed to watch this as a child. Like, as I was going through it, like, some of the stuff, like, bar fights are, like, regular happenings, and just some of the things they say to women, or it's just, and like so much booze and smoking and and of course Daisy Duke's short shorts, which I was a big fan of when I was a child, and still am. But it was just like, but that was the 1970s and 1980s, right? Like, right? Like it was just the way it was. This show went well into the 80s, so I know there's at least 8 seasons, but there may be more than that. But if I find more, I'll get them. But I was just happy to find this first one and just kind of get a glimpse back into the world of the Dukes. And my favorite character on the show is their main adversaries is the county commissioner Boss Hogg and the sheriff who's in his back pocket, Roscoe Coltrane. And the guy that plays Roscoe Coltrane is like, you can't not laugh at this guy. Just the way he talks and his little expressions and the things he says and his laugh and everything, it's just priceless. And it's probably, other than watching the Duke boys run that car around, it's probably my other favorite part of that show. It's just so funny. But so that was the Dukes. And the last thing was, I just finished reading this afternoon, actually. Star Wars Canto Bight. If you'll remember in The Last Jedi, movie, Finn and Rose get sent to the Canto Bight casino to acquire the services of a top-notch slicer. And this book takes place not only in the Canto Casino, but all around Canto Bight and the other facilities and services that it offers. And it actually features 4 short stories for 4 different people. The first one is a kind of naive alien guy, happy-go-lucky fella who wins his trip to Canto Bight through his company when he sells the most vaporators. However, he's so naive. When he gets there, he just keeps taken advantage of. Like, people take his luggage and take his money, and then in the end, he ends up being the target of an assassination attempt just by circumstance, and so it's a rough night for poor Kel. I can't recall his name. A whole bunch of weird letters in a row, like a lot of Star Wars names are. Anyways, the second story is about a wine sommelier. I don't know how to say it. I don't like wine at all. And she is going to Canto Bight. Again, it's one of her usual stops in her wine selling and acquiring routine or whatever. And normally there's big fanfare when she comes, and she has a big meeting with this local club owner. But this time it's made very low key, and she doesn't let anybody really know about it because she's trying to acquire what's apparently the best bottle of wine in the galaxy. But when the lady that owns the club she's meeting in, who she normally deals with, gets wind of this and that she wasn't in on the deal, she gets pissed, and all sorts of hell breaks loose in the club that this lady owns where the meeting's going down. The third one is about a guy named Lexo Sugar, an alien who works at Zord's spa and bathhouse as a masseuse, one of the best around. And one of his clients is a crime boss named Big Stir Gigana. And when he tries to get Lexo to become an informant, because he has a lot of high profile clientele and they talk, so he hears things, Lexo denies him. But Big Stir Gana says, you might want to rethink that. And what he's done is he's kidnapped Lexo's adopted human daughter, Lula. So for that night, Lexo has to revert back to an old life he used to lead and get down to business, if you know what I mean. So that was the third story. And then the last story is an alien named Cal, who works at the Canto Casino as a prop gambler. So he's basically paid to gamble with house money and make things exciting for other people and keep the atmosphere going and all that shit, right? However, when he gets in over his head and goes through too many credits and builds a debt, they finally come to collect one night by taking his life, and so he has one last night in the Canto Casino to unlearn everything he has learned and make 800,000 credits to pay them off and basically save his own life. So yeah, it was cool. I like it when they do like a Star Wars book that's about characters that aren't the normal heroes and villains, regular people who are going through their own life and death struggles in vastly different ways. And then within the 4 stories, there was lots of character crossover between them. So, you know, somebody who appeared in one story would appear in the other, and so it was really neat. I really like it when they do that sort of thing. So yeah, so that was it. Those 4 things, and yeah, I'm sure the Leafs are about to play Los Angeles right now. They're on the West Coast, so I gotta stay up late and make some coffee, and I'm gonna be super tired tomorrow. But I will be back hopefully in the morning with a video about another Leafs win, and then yeah, I will see you then.